So today we are doing a lazy strip down of 2018 Jonas Akerlund film Lots of Chaos, which portrays parts of the early 90s Norwegian black metal scene from the perspective of this Mayhem guy. Mayhem! The film received positive reviews from critics, but it was met with polarizing reception from audiences within the metal community. Who knew? But let's leave that aside and dive right into it, shall we? First we meet this dude who is... Wait a minute? Why is this? Alright, I got it. You took Kevin Home Alone's younger brother to portray one of the most iconic figures in fucking metal history. Pfft. Why, film? Did you think we simply could unsee this or something? Okay, first we meet Home Alone protagonist who's hanging out with the boys. He introduces us to his cool basement metal band called Mayhem. Then they play some untight as fuck basement metal band shit and indulge in Satan's trueness. Sounds familiar to me. A college student-like voiceover takes us into the story, and Jonas Akerlund uses the opportunity to implement some historical band pictures, which is cool and stuff and well done. But then, oh no, drummer guy leaves and gets replaced with other drummer guy. They play some more black metal, and does this guy play guitar for a month or so? Oh shit, he does. Right. But it does sound true, and they play some more black metal, coolest band ever and shit. Then college student narrator proclaims the band's need for a dope as fuck front guy. Later on they receive a singer's demo tape accompanied by a crucified hamster, and they love it. Soon Goldilocks dude arrives to be their new frontman, and what a cutie he is. They do some more black metaling, and Goldilocks dude quickly turns out to be one troubled little fucker being obsessed by death, including his own. They move into a cabin in the woods to really dedicate to their music, and Home Alone protagonist starts bouncing on Goldilocks' suicidal depression shit. Well, I wonder where that might lead us to. Nevertheless, they both have fun in the woods shooting at stray cats, and there's some more suicidal tendencies, but nothing happens. We quick jump to a party of theirs to start with some corpse paint posing practice in front of a mirror. Then we are introduced to chubby teen guy who is one clumsy shy teen boy dipshit to totally look up to Home Alone protagonist. Everybody's partying hard, doing beers, girls, and threatening others with an electric saw. There's casual bangings and blasting firearms, totally drunk. God, I miss those days. Next morning, Goldilocks dude is a fucking weirdo again, later to unbury his stage outfit racks for the band's next gig. Well, that I call dedication, young man. Before said gigs, they have some backstage fun and then motherfucking stun their audience with a black metal supernova and shit, during which Goldilocks dude performs some bloody acts of self-harm and everybody has a boner on pigheads for some reason. Great fun they had. Duct tape is again musician's best friend and everybody's like, we are true cult elite and stuff. Also, chubby teen guy is back, but he gets called out for his shitty Scorpions patch, and why not? Let's see where this leads us to, shall we? We jump to Cabin in the Woods, where Goldilocks dude performs suicide in a manly way, including some true Norwegian humor like leaving a note, excuse all the blood, let the party begin. What comes next is by far the most told story in all of black metal history. Home Alone protagonist finds the body, gets a disposable camera and has a little photo shooting with the dead. Also, there's some bone piece taking or something. I don't know. Let's wait for this to come out again. His bandmates show up to discuss the situation. Home Alone protagonist gives everyone necklaces with dubious bone pieces. Oh, there it is. Which he claims to be from their frontman's skull. But, oh no! Bass player guy is pissed off and he leaves, which makes the former 4-piece band a 2-piece whatever and sends it to cryosleep. Cut. Sometime later, Home Alone protagonist presents us with his new project, a black metal dedicated record store for him and his homies to hang out. It is fucking brutal and shit. They even got a true cult basement as a VIP lounge and headquarters for upcoming project. And who knew? Chubby teen shows up again. He presents himself as true cult elite now with one Scorpions patch less on his vest. And he gets mocked a little more. Also, Home Alone protagonist has a record label now and uses his status to inspire chubby teen guy to think about making churches around warmer places. Much warmer places. He's kind of in the hood now and they party hard in the cringy nerd headquarters of theirs, wearing fantasy armor and shit. Suddenly, chubby teen guy offers his own demo tape to the newfound label to check out. Later, Home Alone protagonist has a brief listen and he's like, wow, this is the dopest thing I ever heard. His label is way too broke for an album production, but chubby teen guy says he got some cash from his mom for this. They agree and soon go to studio where chubby teen guy turns out to be the real shit. With that, he quickly rises up the ranks to even come close to the status of Home Alone protagonist just by being the truest jerk ever. A conflict for being in control ensues between the two, slowly to stack up bad sentiments for each other. But then the newly made record is there, making them think about how to promote it. Wonder what they will come up with? Chubby teen guy burns down the church. Ah, there it is. Later, Home Alone protagonist claims to have inspired him and shit. And everybody's like, boy, you legend. Chubby teen guy gets a lot of chicks and goes for some more studio action. He becomes kind of a black metal alpha chat, even making Home Alone protagonist look outdated. who promptly starts to plot to keep control over the situation. He reanimates his cryo-frozen band project from earlier in the film, taking Chubby Teen as their new bass player. The latter even gets his very own bone necklace. In celebration they burned down a church. Chubby Teen guy even got a time bomb thing. What the fuck? Epic stuff here. They have a great time and the conflict seems to be out of the way somehow. But is it? Then Girly Eyes Boy from the hood has a little episode with a homosexual man in a park knife stabbing him like 20 times to prove his own true cultness. The homosexual person dies in the process. We jump to the record store where Girly Eyes Boy reveals what true cult shit he had done and everybody's like, boy you legend, and the three go burn down. You guess it. We see the most impressive scenes of the whole film right here, condensing down the cultural ideals of second wave black metal and unfolding its beautiful core for us. But Tom's son, I hear you say, that's it? Will these guys now happily burn down churches for the rest of their day? Fear not, cautious frequent of this marvelous channel, there is more to come. The police starts to rumble up the whole scene and college student narrator explains how Home Alone protagonist feels trapped not having wanted things to go that far. Blonde photographer chick shows up to again smuggle some historical content into the film and why not? They bang like teenies do and Home Alone protagonist has some psycho flashbacks about Goldilocks dude. And then Mayhem is back to studio where the show-off between Home Alone protagonist and Chubby Teen guy starts to turn into open confrontation. They do some black metaling with that new singer of theirs, but the tension is one fucking elephant in the room. Later Home Alone protagonist with blonde photographer chick as a girlfriend now receives a call in which Chubby Teen guy tells him about his plan to open up to the press. And Home Alone protagonist goes, what? But Chubby Teen guy is like, trust me, it will be epic. He gets two journalists to his Nazi place to perform a clumsy and most amateurish parody of a Satanist evil mastermind in which he claims to be the leading figure behind the church burnings and stuff. The press guys believe him and even do a kind of cringy photoshooting session with him. The story hypes up to newspaper front pages and Chubby Teen guy gets arrested. Home Alone protagonist is really pissed about the situation and rants about killing the guy in a manly way witnessed by Girly Eyes Boy. I wonder if that might become important later. But then a big music journalist calls for a phone interview, again revealing the positional conflict between the two alpha chats. Home Alone protagonist sets his positioning straight. I'm the man and shit, but then again has some Goldilocks flashbacks. Chubby Teen guy is set free for lack of evidence and soon learns about the interview which led to a nice article in a fancy metal magazine. And he's like, what the fuck you untrue dipshit, and they have some who's the leader conflict. Then he quits Mayhem and the label to pursue the real true shit because why not, whereas Home Alone protagonist finally opens up about all of his trueness to be just marketing for the band. Also he declares the bone necklaces to be fake, made from chicken bone. Then Girly Eyes Boy talks to poor German actor son guy about Home Alone protagonist's statement to kill Chubby Teen guy in a manly way. What a twist here, who knew? After some talk to blonde photographer chick, Home Alone protagonist changes his mind about Chubby Teen guy and writes him a letter including a contract to set business straight between them. Meanwhile, Chubby Teen guy learns about Home Alone's statement to kill him in a manly way. He also receives the letter, but he's kind of, this is a trap or shit, so he sends the contract, grabs a knife and poor German actor's son to drive him to Home Alone's place hundreds of miles away. Home Alone is home with blonde photographer chick and they change his hairstyle from black metal demon to submissive French poem writer. Later she goes away, leaving Home Alone. We accompany Chubby Teen guy and poor German actor's son driving through half the country in the middle of the night while the soundtrack plays some ethno-inspired singing you'd expect to hear in films like Gladiator or Troy. Fuck you film. Why? They finally arrive at Home Alone's place, who is kinda surprised to have Chubby Teen bring the mentioned contract personally instead of sending it by mail. But he lets him in and they have some words. Chubby Teen pulls out a knife and we have a nice round of stabby stab. Chubby Teen stops his attack after some blows to have a nice glass of chocolate milk while Home Alone manages to escape to the hallway and stairs. But he's caught and takes a lot more knife stabs, one into the head and dies. Chubby Teen flees and drives home. Stuff is all over TV, guys get arrested, soon Chubby Teen himself, everybody's like what the fuck, blonde photographer chick cries while the soundtrack noodles on some coming of age drama shit. Again. Fuck you, film. At last, college student narrator explains how this is no tragedy, YOLO, Satan, black metal and stuff. The end. So what do we learn from all that, kids? In advance I would like to point out that I do not hate the film at all, but I get why it was met with polarizing receptions from audiences within the metal community. Hereby Jonas Akerlund brought himself into a position to always trample on somebody's nerves. Who knew? But he did quite a good job in visualizing the material he decided to work with. There's plenty of effort and lots of scenery and we can sense a certain respect for, say, the spirit of second wave black metal. So let's give him this benefit while we quickly rush over some points of critique I might have. First of all, there's the cast of Rory Culkin as the Euronymous imposter. This guy does a somewhat convincing job, but somehow I expected him to go any second. It was like Patrick Stewart playing Santa Claus and you simply cannot unsee it. Less mercy I got for the Varg Vikernes imposter, who not only looks like Varg's chubby brother but is also presented in a seemingly intentional bad light. I find the clumsy teenager image to have been way overdone, making the following character arc less believable and somewhat naively scripted. Speaking of character arcs, there's just two in the story and they're opposite to another. We have the Euronymous imposter going from edgy true teen with a lust for extremes to a young man seeing himself as an artist that can distinguish art from real life by questioning his values over the course of the happenings in his story. Also we have the Varg Vikernes imposter who starts his voyage as a shy and clumsy teenager, later to become one merciless alpha chat, step by step taking control over and bringing to real life what started as a cultural statement for the sake of being true in the first place. These character arcs appear dim and not balanced to another, the former way too flat, the latter naively constructed. Also there's just two from all of those shown guys who receive any depth in their role by showing their motives and how experiences changed them. I sadly missed a better representation of figures like that, Faust or Nick Butcher. Sure, within a short span of a film you have to focus a little to drive your story ahead, but this is not just a film about some guys having an argument or so, it is fucking about mayhem and second wave black metal. So somewhat exiling that story to the foreplay and just focusing on the Euronymous Varg conflict leads to an overall hollow representation of what were the dynamics behind true Norwegian black metal, especially when it comes to the second half of the film. It is like the whole black metal scene is just two guys and a couple of record store customers. None of the wave around is even mentioned, figures like Faust remain shadows in the hasty rush for the main story. And there's yet another elephant in the room we have to talk about. Jonas, we are talking black metal here. Why there is so little of it in the film? Isn't it like made for expression of extremes like shown all the time here? But we have the Spartacus soundtrack shit bouncing on key moments like a fucking clown would do on your dad's funeral. So why? Did nobody want to give you some black metal for your film? Why could that be? So let me finish with my last point for today, which would be the atmosphere. Of course, this is no avant-garde black metal art installation. It's a film made for cinema and big audiences. There's responsibility coming with bringing certain stories to the ears and eyes of many. You will be seen as a messenger, so better do a good job in representing what you're portraying. The missing density of the soundtrack and its relation to the matter itself, combined with an often painfully sober camera work, do theirs to miss the target in quite a few moments. That's death, the park killing, what's right to Euronymous place, then the murder scene, just to name some. But black metal is all about atmosphere, which I had serious issues to find here and there, despite the fact that you did it brilliantly in your 2002 film Spun. So all in all, Lots of Chaos does not succeed in bringing up much more than a sometimes refreshingly brutal coming-of-age drama with a kind of naive focus on one certain story, while an ocean of culture and dynamics around is hardly even mentioned. Of course, this would have been a much greater task, only possible to master with the help and support from audiences within the metal community, which is one hard to reach goal. Not a bad try, Jonas! I give this 6 blast beats out of 10 upside down crosses.